Welcome to Otherworldly, cut and torn paper exhibition at Ceres Gallery, 547 West 27th Street, New York City, by Mary Alice Orito. This exhibition is obviously cut and torn paper. There's paper mache as well. During COVID, I decided I needed to have a healthier way of thinking. And I decided to expand on a theme that I had done in 2012 that were shell beasties that were also bone and shell. I decided that the shells were too feminine, too soft for right now, the period of time that we find ourselves in. So I decided to focus on bones. Of course, I didn't want to make it, so awful that I couldn't tolerate working on it. They are somewhat comical and cartoonish. Their purpose is to protect the shell, the pod, the core of the earth, which is a giant geode. It is made up of wire, chicken wire, covered in tissue paper, and beads, and again wire, and all different forms, different types of paper, including Japanese rice paper, as well as those laundry sheets that we throw into the dryer. There are lots and lots of beads, and as you can see, it's quite complicated. This is the core of the earth, in my mind, in this narrative. The other thing that was protected were the flowers, and in this case, this flower is made up again of wire and also paper mache, and it's coming out of something. It's not uncommon in New York City to see grass and little tiny flowers growing in between the cracks in the sidewalks, and I love that idea that nature just continues no matter what. So these beasties, again cut and torn paper, all have their own personality, so to speak. The ones at the top are smaller, and as you can see, they occupy the entire surface of the drawing. The way these are created is I draw on black paper first with chalk, then I trace it, cut that out, and place it on paper, and cut that out, and then I glue it to the chalk. I often use paper mache, and as you can see, when I move that, you could see the mirror. And in this case, in this drawing, I have different elevations on it to create depth. This image you might recognize as the invitation. This one, the resting beastie, is a favorite of mine. It's just so simple. And the lady beastie has a fancy haircut and her jewelry. That's the winged beastie. Kind of a combination of a zebra and some kind of ribs or something. But anyway, it's the winged beastie. Then over here is the bird. It represents the bird. It is made up of mulberry paper, Japanese mulberry paper, and it's cut and sewn to another form, then applied to the Bristol board. As you can see, it's, again, quite complicated. Over here, again, two smaller beasties. One is worm-like, well, actually both kind of worm-like. One is a little bit more comical than the other. And then this is the horned beastie. And as you can see, the doll eyes. And this is, again, a favorite of mine. This is actually based truly on one of the drawings that I did for the colored pencil drawings in 2012. And I gave a lot of dimension to this one. That is core board. And I just cut all of it to fit one another. When artists do things like torn and cut paper, one of the problems is that you have a lot of waste. And I make a huge effort at trying to be very strategical in how I work with the paper. This rack is filled with drawings, cut paper that is glued, and it is nothing more than the scraps. Anyway, I hope you have an opportunity to come by the gallery and see the exhibition, which is March 1 through the 26th. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.